Hola. Buenos dias. I'm Ida Jones. I've been a member of the church for now about 10 years. And I am currently past president of your board of trustees. And, and also I serve on the worship arts team. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno.
Buenos dias. I'm Mia. I'm a part of our high school youth group. Happy Mother's Day to anyone and everyone who nurtures children in any way. Welcome to our annual flower service.
Welcome to everyone on our online church campus, which is where I usually am. Please share this live stream with your friends or followers. If you like what you're experiencing here at UU Fresno, don't be afraid to spread the word about us.
We also give a big welcome to anyone on our Alluvial Avenue church campus.
And a shout out to everyone who's attending at a time of your choice on Facebook or YouTube.
We are one congregation in many places.
We are different from many of the churches in Fresno and in the Central Valley. Being different doesn't mean we're better. Well, maybe not. Okay, I had to say that. But it does mean that you may find a spiritual home here if you consider yourself a free thinker and you value a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
We are welcome no matter our age, spiritual background, or religious beliefs.
We welcome you no matter your race or culture of origin. We welcome you no matter your primary or secondary language.
Our neurodiversity is welcome here. We are welcome if we want to sit in a chair in the center of the sanctuary or if we want to be at a round table with paper and crayons. No matter our age, we are welcome to sit wherever we feel most comfortable.
We are welcome no matter our level of formal education or the amount of money we have. Our disabilities are welcome here too.
We welcome you if you are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, non-binary, gender fluid, queer, or intersex.
You are welcome with or without documentation. No one is illegal at this church.
All of us are welcome here.
We acknowledge that our Alluvial Avenue Church campus sits within the traditional homelands of the Yokuts people, the original and continued caretakers of this land. Because of today's special flower communion service, we won't be sharing personal joys, sorrows, gratitudes, or concerns. Those will be back next week.
Tim has an important update with the final result of our annual pledge drive.
Buenos dias. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. So I get the great joy of announcing the grand total of our annual pledge drive. Before I do that, I can say that since the heart of the pandemic, this is the largest pledge drive amount in our history since the pandemic. So could we get a drum roll, Mark? Boom, and the grand total, $605,200. Woo! Thank you all.
That is wonderful, and I think our pledge drive team also deserves a round of applause. Let's now take a moment, and if you're comfortable doing so,
let's say buenos dias to each other.
Good morning. May the sound of the tingsha take you within to your center that knows you are deeply loved and cherished by the universe.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out to sea. Sail away, bask in the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find and discover. Go away, somewhere all bright and new. I have seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. You belong with deep love in your heart. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, go find and discover. Run away, let your heart be your guide. You deserve the deepest of cover. You belong in that home by and by. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to glee. Far away from your trouble and worry. You belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere you feel free.
Good morning. My name is Declan. Happy Mother's Day to everyone who cares for children in any way.
Buenos dias. My name is Christine Myers. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve gratefully this morning as your worship associate. If you are joining us on our online campus and have a candle or chalice with you, bring it close as we'll be lighting it soon.
Our chalice lighting words are by Reverend Michelle Collins, and they are perfect for this morning when we celebrate the beauty of flowers. Come, let us gather in this sacred space where imagination is a soil rich with possibility.
Let us plant seeds of wonder, water them with curiosity, and tend them with community.
May our minds open, our hearts awaken, and together may we nurture visions that grow beyond today.
Come, let us imagine all that can be. Come, let us plant seeds of wonder.
In that spirit, please light your chalice or candle at home. Lisa and Angela, would you kindle the flame in our Alluvial Avenue chalice?
Let us rise now in body or spirit and join in singing the song of praise, Gather the Spirits.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gather the spirit, harvest the power, our
the spirit of heart and mind. Stars are the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit knitted once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
I invite us to remain standing as we say together the words of our mission. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. Please be seated. So this morning is our annual Flower Communion celebration, which means the service itself is going to be a little truncated so that we can get to the flower sharing part of the service. But adults are going to remain here for the time being, and you get to hear in a few minutes me tell you about the history of the Flower Communion. While our kids, we're going to sing them off right now. They're going to go and learn about the history of the Flower Communion, make some flowers, and then all the kids will come back for the actual sharing of the flowers near the end of the service. So let's bless our kids with song as they head off to their explorations.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go.
So I invite us to take in a nice deep breath together, imagining we're breathing in peace. And as we exhale, we breathe out love. Once again, we center ourselves by breathing in peace, breathing out love. One more time together, we breathe in peace. We breathe out love. As we continue breathing together, let's just do a gentle check-in with our week, with our hearts, with our mind. And if you have any joys or gratitudes this morning, just breathe into that joy or that gratitude and claim it for a moment. And likewise, we acknowledge any concerns or any sorrows that we hold in our heart today, and let's just breathe into that pain, that worry, that concern, and acknowledge it. We remember, too, our beloved church members and friends who are living with health challenges, have compromised mobility or other impacts to their well-being. We especially lift up Robin C. as she continues to recover from her surgery, Barbara C., Paula F., Dominic P., Myrna S., Glenda R., Pat M. We also lift up and remember a beloved spouse of the congregation, Dwayne, as Dwayne recovers. And this morning we pause and acknowledge the loss of one of our members after some struggle with health issues. This week, Bill Swearingen passed into the mysteries of death on Wednesday. And Deborah, we are holding you in our hearts and with much love as you celebrate your partnership, celebrate your great love for Bill and Bill's love for you. And we're glad that you were there holding his hand as he passed. Our thoughts are with you. We also continue this month celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We also celebrate Jewish American Heritage Month. And so for everything we've shared, as well as everything we're holding in the silence of our own hearts, but also for all those who on this day have no one to remember them, no one to speak their name with gentleness or love, we light our candle of community. In a moment, we kindle our candle of compassion, resistance, and hope as we acknowledge that on many levels it was another hard week in our country, a hard week in the world. In these times when our federal government is attacking and destroying so much of what we hold as sacred, let us remember to hold compassion on our hearts with strength, to join together with resistance, and to together kindle our fires of hope. Talking with a longtime member of the church this week who was going to have a procedure, and they were feeling pretty anxious about it, and they mentioned that they were just breathing in peace, breathing out love, that was a spiritual practice that helped ground them and feel a bit more connected to their center. We've already done the breathing, now we do the singing about it, our meditation on breathing.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, respiro paz. Quando exhalo, exhalo amor. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Quando respiro paz. Quando exhalo amor. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. Quando exhalo amor.
I'm Rebel, and this is my mom, Alicia.
On this Mother's Day, our words of prayer or reflection come from the Reverend Tess Baumberger, adapted. Let us pray. Spirit of life, fuente de amor, source of all. Whether or not we are mothers, we all have mothers, mothers whose bodies nurtured our bodies as they emerged in the darkness. Mothers whose thoughts and feelings swirled through the currents of the womb. Mothers whose oxygen breathed into us, helped root our souls into this world. However they nurtured us after, we all had that deep body connection with our biological mothers before birth.
Motherhood runs deeply throughout our lives, as do our feelings about mothering. The mothers of some gathered here have died in the past few years, and the mothers of some gathered here passed into the mysteries of death many years ago. As we breathe together, let us breathe comfort into the hearts of those whose children who mourn their mothers.
There are mothers here who have children who have died. There are mothers here who lost children during pregnancy. There are mothers here who have children lost behind the walls of estrangement, which life sometimes places between mothers and children. As we breathe together, let us breathe comfort into the hearts of those mothers who mourn the children.
There are women here who have always wanted to be mothers, but whose lives did not present them that opportunity. As we breathe together, let us breathe reassurance into the hearts of mothers whose children take different forms, accomplishments, acts of creativity, and love, workings of the Spirit.
There are those among us who have troubled pasts with their mothers, and those who have troubled presents or futures with their mothers. As we breathe together, let us breathe strength and hope into the hearts of those whose connections to their mothers have twists that sometimes cause pain, sometimes distress.
And there are those among us who celebrate this day with mothers who are strong, loving, guiding forces, mothers who taught them how to laugh, to sing, to cry, to think, to feel, to work, to play, to love, and to live.
As we breathe together, let us breathe the gladness and joy of motherhood at its best. Motherhood that nurtures us in ways that often can't be seen. Motherhood whose deep connections continue to feed our souls with the breath, the blood, the loving currents of life. Que así sea, bendito sea, may it be so, blessed be. Amen.
Well, hello again. I'm Ida Jones, past president of the Board of Trustees and a member of the Worship Associates. On Friday, I attended a conference at Fresno State on artificial intelligence. I geek out on computer stuff, just so you know. So as I was happily geeking along, listening to our potential future, I thought about this service upcoming and how we focus, rightfully, on building our personal relationships with others. Now, sometimes we build them based on artificial intelligence because we use, for example, Zoom to connect. But what this church does for me is it helps remind me in a time when I think our government should be doing more to help those of us who need assistance. We're using AI to prolong wars and to experiment on different ways of getting rid of people. And so I need this church to help ground me and center me so that I can remember that not everyone is like those who are making decisions like that. But in order to have a church, of course, we do have to make our contributions in whatever form they are to ensure that our church can continue. So I make the financial contributions that I can make, and for those who are unable to make financial contributions, also make contributions to help keep our church going, and all those contributions are welcome. So in the spirit of giving, let us join Reverend Tim in our call for offering.
If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Si no somos nosotros, entonces ¿quién? Si no corazones abiertos, entonces ¿qué? Si no es ahora, entonces ¿cuándo? Si no es aquí, entonces ¿dónde? Si no damos generosamente, entonces ¿cómo? Si no somos nosotros, entonces ¿quién?
If this is your first or second time with us, please let the basket pass you by. Your being here today is your gift to us. You can also contribute from the comfort of your home or chair, or even in the sanctuary, using Cash App or by scanning the QR code. The morning offering will now be gratefully received. May this church continue to be worthy of the many forms of your gifts.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. And it's the heart afraid of breaking that never
Thank you for that musical gift, Tina. So, as you've heard, today is our flower communion. I remember the first time I attended a Unitarian church that had a flower communion, and I didn't know what a flower communion was, and I didn't know that we had been invited if we wanted to bring a flower. And so I sat there the whole time going, oh, I'm going to be left out. No one is left out at this church. We have plenty of flowers here. So if you did not know you were supposed to bring one, or if you knew you were supposed to and forgot, never fear. There is a flower with your name on it, and I see it right there. To our folks who are online, we love that you are part of this community. You still have time to get a flower. If you'd like to participate from home, you can get one from your backyard. You could sneak one from your neighbor's backyard. You could find an artificial flower inside. You could even draw a simple picture of a flower so that you can participate in our ritual. But before we talk more about the flower communion, we're going to sing. My mom loved to sing. The great love of music that I have is my mom living on through me. She just sang all the time. One of the songs she really loved to sing also talked about a rose. What a wonderful world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. Let's rise in body or spirit and let's sing.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright summer days, the dark winter nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Please be seated. So have you ever gotten a snarky email? Anyone? Okay. So every once in a while, somebody sends a minister a snarky email. Just every once in a while. And I got one of these this week from somebody who I love dearly. They said, are you going to tell us the story of the flower communion yet again? It wasn't Nicholas who sent it, but he was thinking it. I know it. So with great love, I responded, well, at Christmas, we always tell the story of the Nativity. How could you not? At Passover, we're going to tell the story of the Exodus, or celebrating Passover won't make too much sense. And for those of us who celebrate Buddha's birthday, if you don't tell who Buddha was, then it's a Buddha-less birthday. And it would be a flowerless flower communion Nicholas if I didn't tell the story. And I'm just picking on you because I love you. So this morning we do tell the history, a history that is important to Unitarian Universalists all around the world. And I'll tell you, this story is truly imprinted in my heart. It's imprinted in my mind, and it informs my vision of Unitarian Universalism, something that I try to embody and pass on to future generations who will inherit our message of liberating love. Now, this history is a story of many things, but it's also a story of curiosity, which is our worship theme this month. A story is about two people whose curiosity led them to envision a new universal ritual that could help people embrace their differences and their commonalities. It's a story of how, at a time of increasing tension, in time of division in the country, and a time of rising authoritarianism, people came together to remind each other of their humanity. And so this is the story of the Unitarian Universalist Flower Communion. Now, there's at least one person every time I say communion who cringes. Communion, it's one of those religious words. Think of this. Communion is simply a word that means sharing. So every time I say communion, it's just sharing, and this is a story about sharing. Norbert Čapek was born in 1870 in the country that we now call the Czech Republic, but at the time was called Bohemia, and the people who lived there were Bohemians. Norbert Čapek's family was too poor to send him to school, so they sent Norbert to live with his uncle Victor in Vienna, Austria. Norbert's uncle was a tailor, and Norbert worked as his assistant. That way he was able to earn money to pay for school because Norbert liked to learn. In school, he studied science, psychology, and philosophy, and Norbert, like many of us, began to ask many, many questions about religion. Questions that challenged the faith in which he was being raised. Norbert asked, why does one person get to be in charge of the entire church and speak as the voice of God? He asked, why are men the only ones allowed to be priests? Why are only men in charge? He thought patriarchy, not a good thing. And he also asked, why can't there be a church that celebrates our differences instead of trying to make us all think the same way? Now, Norbert's uncle did not like that his nephew asked questions. He felt that it was dangerous. He said, if you want to make it in the world, then you better keep your mouth shut and your mind closed. That's how you survive. Thank you. I'll give you the $5 I promised if you would boo right then. Now, in some ways, the time and place in which Norbert lived wasn't all that different from what we see unfolding in our country. Some people don't like it if we ask questions, and here in the Central Valley, many, many people, many of our neighbors have been taught to feel threatened by difference. So when Norbert grew to be an adult, he still hadn't figured out a way to be spiritual that felt authentic to him. For some of us, it takes well into our adulthood till we discover that. Some of us never do. Remember, Norbert liked to learn, so he was always in the library. One day, he was sitting in the library reading the newspapers because he liked to know what was going on, and he noticed a woman also sitting in the library, also reading newspapers. Somehow, Norbert knew he had to meet her. He took a chance, he introduced himself. He said, "Hi, I'm Norbert Chopek," or some such thing. The woman responded, "Hi, Norbert. It's good to meet you. I'm Maya Veronica Altvak." As they talked together, they realized that they had a similar interest in developing themselves intellectually. They liked ideas. They both were on their own individual search for truth and meaning. They both wondered, could this be a search they could share together? Norbert decided to take a risk and share his spiritual struggles, to be vulnerable with Maya, not knowing if she would run screaming for the door. But Maya replied, "Norbert, it is not as complicated as you are making it. I think you might just be a Unitarian." Norbert responded, "What's a Unitarian?" Maya smiled and said something like this: "Unitarians respect each person's individual spiritual search for truth and meaning. They believe that all life is interconnected and interdependent, which means that Unitarians are called to prioritize and protect the most vulnerable among us. Unitarians affirm the inherent dignity and worthiness of all people. They respect diversity and difference and see that as a spiritual strength. Unitarians, perhaps above all, teach us that we need not think alike to love alike." Let's say that together. We need not think alike to love alike. Norbert's response was succinct. He said, "If that's what it means to be a Unitarian, sign me up." After that, Maya and Norbert fell in love. How could they not? They got married. And then together, they decided something pretty radical. They decided to become Unitarian ministers. They went to seminary, and after several hard years of study and work, they were ordained. Maya and Norbert were officially Reverend Maya and Reverend Norbert. Now, at that time, which was just over 100 years ago, there were very few female Unitarian ministers. We could also say there were very few female ministers at all. Maya was a trailblazer. She was a pioneer. She helped break a glass ceiling in a faith tradition that today, 100 years later, has more female ministers in it than male ministers. And I might add, also ordain openly non-binary folks as well. It's 1921. We're in Prague, in what is now called the Czech Republic. Maya and Norbert started a Unitarian church together. People from many different religions and backgrounds came to this newfangled church. They came because they wanted to be part of a community that taught religious values that made sense and resonated with them. They wanted to be part of a spiritual community because they didn't want to face the complexities, the uncertainties of the world all by themselves. They knew trouble was brewing, and they wanted companions for the journey, companions who cared about making a more loving and justice-filled world. This was 3 years after the end of World War I. The trauma, death, and destruction of what at the time was called the war to end all wars, right? That trauma and destruction was all around them. In the aftermath, Maya and Norbert wanted to do something that would bring people together and remind them that even in the most brutal and soul-crushing of times, there was still beauty and hope in the world. They wanted to create a ritual that was open to everybody, no matter the religious background or spiritual beliefs. They wanted a ritual that would let people love inclusively. One momentous May morning, not unlike this morning, Maya looked out their church window and noticed flowers growing in the church garden. Maya said to Norbert, "These flowers remind me of beauty. These flowers remind me of hope. Maybe our new ritual could be created and be based on flowers." Maya continued in words summarized by Fred Small. "In the ugliness of oppression, flowers celebrate the eternal hope of freedom. In the face of cruelty after cruelty, they speak of courage. In a meadow, they speak of freedom, creating patterns wild and breathtaking that no gardener can match. In their indescribable beauty, flowers remind us that we live always in the face of ineffable mystery. And in their reappearance each year, flowers remind us that despite the hardships of life, life does go on." And so Maya and Norbert together created the flower communion. They asked everybody at their church to bring a flower with them that morning. They arrived and everyone was invited to place their flowers into a giant vase. Placing the flowers in the vase represented that each person came into this church by their own free will. No one forced them. No fear of hell made them sit here. They came because their spirit wanted to be here. Then they had the children of the church carry the vase very carefully to the front of the church where they put it on a table, and the congregation, not the minister, but the congregation then blessed the flowers together. After the service, as people prepared to leave, they went to the vase and each took a flower different from the one that they had brought with them. So this begs the question, what did this flower communion symbolize? Well, it symbolizes many different things. First, no two flowers are the same. Together, the many different flowers form a beautiful bouquet. This bouquet would not be the same without each individual flower, and it's the same with us. Our church would not be the same without each one of us here. No matter how different we might be, we are all beautiful in God's eyes, for we are all part of the great bouquet of creation. We are, in the end, all different, beautiful, and one. And when we leave this service with a flower brought by someone else, probably somebody you don't even know, it is this beautiful, earthy reminder that we are connected to each other. Maya and Norbert introduced the flower communion 103 years ago on June 4th, 1923. The people in Norbert and Maya's church loved the flower communion and the caring community that it represented. Their church in Prague became the largest Unitarian church in the world with over 3,000 members. That meant a lot of flowers had to be cut for their flower communion. But then those clouds that were threatening descended. Adolf Hitler and the Nazis took control of Prague and Bohemia. Immediately, thank you, let's all boo that. And maybe just a boo for authoritarians everywhere. Immediately, Maya and Norbert's church was labeled dangerous by the invading fascists. The Nazis obviously did not want a church like the Chopics. They did not want that flower communion celebrated. They did not want Maya and Norbert preaching the Unitarian message that all people are beautiful in God's eyes. They didn't want anybody teaching that all people are sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. They did not want people to embrace differences with love, curiosity, and respect. and suddenly Maya, Norbert, and that congregation found themselves in uncharted and uncertain times. They didn't know what to do. They were frightened. They didn't know what was going to happen next. They didn't know how bad things were going to get. Was authoritarianism going to be their future? Many Unitarians in that congregation were threatened or beaten or taken from their homes and put in prison. Some Unitarians had the windows of their houses or businesses broken. Some businesses were robbed, shut down, or burned by the Nazis. Others worried that they might be the next who was going to be disappeared. The Chopeks were regularly questioned by the Gestapo, who demanded that Maya and Norbert not criticize Hitler or the Nazis during their sermons. In public, Maya and Norbert were fearful and remained silent. But they and members of their congregation formed a resistance team that met secretly in the basement of the church and helped Jews and other vulnerable people escape from Prague. But finally, despite their fear, Maya and Norbert couldn't take it anymore. In the spring of 1941, Norbert declared, "We must speak the truth and not be cowards." And so that Sunday, during his sermon, Norbert directly contradicted a hateful speech that had been given earlier in the week by Adolf Hitler. He excoriated Hitler for his lies and his cruel inhumanity. 5 days later, the Gestapo came to their home and arrested Norbert. Because of that sermon, the Nazis said it was, quote, too dangerous for Norbert Chopek to be allowed to live, end of quote. And so that gentle soul was sent to Dachau, the concentration camp, and on his papers were stamped these instructions: Chopek's return unwanted. While at Dachau, Norbert introduced the prisoners there to the Unitarian flower communion. Each prisoner brought what flowers or weeds or grass they could find in the concentration camp to a special service. At the end of the service, the prisoners left with a flower, with a weed, even a blade of grass, different from the one that they had brought. One brought by one of their fellow prisoners that reminded them of community. The prisoners were strengthened and inspired by this inclusive Unitarian flower communion that was open to anyone, no matter their religion. They liked the simple ritual, reminded them there was still beauty and goodness in this world. After the war, survivors testified that the Unitarian minister could not have been sent to a place where he was more needed. Norbert brought hope and resilience to the Jewish, Christian, Unitarian, Muslim, Roma, lesbian, gay, and transgendered prisoners in Dachau. But his ministry ended when he was transported with other older prisoners to the section of the camp where barbaric medical experiments were being conducted on elderly prisoners. These are the last words that Norbert wrote to his beloved wife and partner in ministry, Maya. Norbert wrote, "The goal of religion is to create strong, confident, active, creative, loving persons who are happy with themselves and with nature, humanity, and the spirit of life." When news of Norbert's death at Dachau reached the United States, the American Unitarian Association president, Frederick May Elliott, wrote, "Another name is added to the list of heroic Unitarian martyrs by whose death our freedom has been bought. Ours is now the responsibility to see it, to see to it that we stand fast in liberty." And those words, dear ones, remain true in our uncertain times. Ours is now the responsibility to see to it that we stand fast for liberty. Back in Prague, it got too dangerous for Maya to remain in the city, and so she fled to the United States, where, unlike today, she was welcomed with open arms. Maya brought with her the flower communion from Prague. She first introduced it to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but soon Maya began to travel and share the flower communion ritual with Unitarian congregations all across the country. Maya shared it because she believed that the hardest times and the most dire moments are not strong enough to rob us of our capacity to share love. Not even death can take from us the love that is shared by people. It is with us as long as we have love to offer. It's with us whenever we are open to receive love from others, by offering what we can, by making room to receive from others. We carry with us the hope for the future. Could we say that together? We carry with us the hope for the future. Que así sea, bendito sea, may it be so, blessed be. Amen. So, thank you, Nicholas, for indulging me. So now, in the spirit of Maya and Norbert Chopek and that congregation in that war-torn time, we are going to celebrate our flower communion. So first, here on Alluvial Avenue, let's bring our kids back into the sanctuary with a little kid-arriving music. And perhaps parents, grandparents, or guardians could just stand so as the kids come in, they can see where you are and remember where you are, assuming you want them to return to you. We make no assumptions. Welcome back. Let's hear it for our kids. So, in a moment, we are going to begin our flower communion. We're going to do it by coming forward to the front table and selecting the flower that is calling to you. We're going to begin in a moment with both sides coming down to the table, choosing your flower. The thing to remember, go back the center aisle so that we don't have a traffic jam. And then once the sides have gone, our two center sections, you want to come down the side aisle and go back the center aisle. That will keep us with a nice flow. Now, as we begin, in a moment, we're going to see pictures from past online flower communion services from the pandemic time. And kids and adults, I love these pictures. Watch carefully and see if you can find these things. Look to find a little girl holding a tiny purple flower. Look to see a dog with a rose. That's Grayson, my doggy. Look to see a boy with a flower pot on his head. That's my nephew, John, who is much taller today than he was back then. Look for an elderly, wise-looking woman with flowers in her glasses. That is our late beloved Sydney story. And keep your eye out for a tiny duck. And so, as Sarah and Stolen Thunder share their music, let our 103rd Unitarian Flower Communion begin.
I just made something unexpected, something sharp, something new. It's not symmetrical or perfect, but it's beautiful and it's mine. What else can I do? Purple rose and rose of roses, Flor de Mayo, by the mile. I make perfect practice poses, so much hides behind my smile. What could I do if I just grew what I was feeling in the moment? What could I do if I just knew it didn't need to be perfect, it just needed to be, and they let me be a hurricane of jacaranda, strangling figs, hanging vines, Palma de Serra fills the air as I climb, and I push through. What else can I do? Can I deliver us a river of sundew? Careful, it's carnivorous, a little just won't do. I wanna feel the shiver of something new. confusion minds. The way is clearer 'cause you're here and I owe this all to you. What else can I do?
And dear ones, I take one flower here. This represents for you on our online campus. Thank you for being here. You are beautiful as well. I invite all of us, as we're able to, please rise with our flowers.
Surrounded by the beauty in our flowers, we're going to do what Reverend Maya and Norbert Chapek and their congregation did 103 years ago in Prague. We're going to bless these flowers with our love, using words adopted from the blessings that the Chapeks first used 103 years ago.
And our response for all ages will be, bless these flowers with our love, que nuestro amor bendiga estas flores. Can we try that together? Bless these flowers with our love, que nuestro amor bendiga estas flores. Before we begin, though, let's take a moment to just hold up our flowers and in silence notice the diversity and the beauty among us. Let us pray.
Infinite Spirit of life, Fuente de Amor, God of our own understanding, we ask your blessing on those gathered today, holding a blossom of beauty and hope. Let each of us be messengers of community and love. Together, let us say,
bless these flowers with our love, que nuestro amor bendiga estas flores. May these blossoms remind us that each of us brings our unique story. Each of us possesses diverse knowledge and gifts. And together, this bouquet of color and beauty is truly a blessing. Together we say, bless these flowers with our love, que nuestro amor bendiga estas flores.
May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or weaken our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do love's work in the world. Together, one last time, let us say,
bless these flowers with our love, que nuestro amor bendiga estas flores. May it be so, blessed be, amen. Now let's join our voices as we sing De Colores.
1, 2, 3, 4. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que vienen afuera. De colores es el arco iris que ven muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por esos los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. All the colors the fields love to wear when the spring starts to breeze in. All the colors the birds dress themselves in for us in this season. All the colors we see in the sky when the rainbow appears. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for all who we've known through the years. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for all who we've known through the years. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que vienen afuera. De colores el largo iris que vemos lucir. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí.
Hello again. I'm Declan. As our celebration of colors, creativity, beauty, and blossoms comes to an end, please join in our chalice extinguishing words. Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Esto es lo que tenemos en el corazón. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts. Reverend Tim, how about some reminders?
You got it. Please be seated. First, I want to thank everyone who assisted with today's service, both speaking, musically. So, Cecily Callahan is our coordinator of community life. If you are new or newish, Cecily can get you connected, answer your questions, and help this place become familiar and family for you. Outside in our steaming hot courtyard will be our steaming hot coffee hour. If you are new or newish and you would like to join us for coffee hour, we'd be delighted. Just go to the table with the turquoise tablecloth. A member of our board of trustees it's going to be Darcy. You will get to be able to have your coffee with the one and only Darcy. And ask her about Fresno State football, and she will know everything. We're also asking each Sunday for one person to volunteer. One person to volunteer sometime about halfway through coffee hour to just go in the kitchen and help dry dishes. We're a little short in there, so one person dry some dishes. People will thank you very much. Also, as you leave, the ushers have slips of paper with the needed food items, I hope. Ushers are looking at me with puzzlement, so maybe not, but next Sunday is our third Sunday food offering for Wesley, the food pantry, and also the families at Valley Children's Hospital. Also, next Sunday, the choir will be singing, which means if you have had a hankering to be in a choir, you just have to show up on Sunday morning at 8:57, not 8:56, not 8:58, but 8:57, and there will be a rehearsal. You don't need to be able to read music to be in our choir. You just need to be able to smile, and Sarah will figure out how to help you sing. Also, Next week will be our annual spring congregational meeting. It'll be here in our Alluvial Avenue sanctuary as well as online, so our online folks can join us. It will be on Zoom and a link will be provided. You'll be affirming your new slate of officers on the Board of Trustees, and you will be approving, hopefully, the fiscal year 26-27 budget. We need a quorum of members, which means we need you to be here next Sunday. Last but not least, we'd like to welcome folks who are here for the first, second, or third time. We do this not to embarrass you, but we're really glad that you chose to be here on this hot Sunday spring morning. And so if it's your first, second, or third time, would you just rise for a moment? We won't leave you standing alone for long. Welcome from Petaluma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them. Christine and Declan have our closing words.
Our closing words come to us from Elaine Gallagher-German. Walk softly.
Speak truthfully.
Love gently.
Breathe deeply.
Live wisely.
Go in peace.
Go in peace and let's sing.
1, 2, 3.
Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace.